Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk Browns and their draft picks from a couple of weekends ago. We've got NBA playoffs. We've got the Guardians. But we'll get to all that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which former Indian would later become one of the only two players to win the World Series with a home run? I will have the answer later on the podcast. Now the Browns did a pretty good job with the draft picks a couple of weekends ago in the NFL draft in Kansas City, Missouri. And now here are the Browns draft picks from the NFL draft. They took Cedric Tillman, a wide receiver from Tennessee, Sahaki Ika, defensive tackle, Michigan, and Isaiah McGuire, he's an edge rusher from Missouri, and Ika, who is 335 pounds, and McGuire, who is 6'4" and 271 pounds. Ika will have a chance to win a starting spot, job, next to Tomlinson, whom the Browns are counting on to have a big year under the defensive line, friendly schemes of new defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. Um, for a monster year if things go well across his position group. And Luke Whippler, center from Ohio State. They took two players from Ohio State. The Browns drafted an intriguing tackle in Jones, who becomes the biggest player on the roster at 6'8" and 374 pounds. As soon as the Browns selected him in the fourth round, all of the starters from last season will return, and the Browns should once again carry one of the steadiest offensive lines in the league in 2023. We also drafted Cameron Mitchell, quarterback, Northwestern. The Browns certainly don't lack depth at corner, and they added even more depth to it with their fifth-round selection of Mitchell. The starting trio of Ward, Newsome, and Emerson could give the Browns one of the top quarterback groups in the league, and Ford should not only be a quality backup, but also a great special teams player. And also, the Browns also drafted Dorian Thompson Robinson, quarterback from UCLA. The Browns selected Thompson Robinson, a 5-year starter from UCLA, in the fifth round as a potential backup for Watson, who will be surrounded by plenty of players who, as Barry put it, can help accentuate his skillet, and the top priority for the Browns in 2023 is helping Watson return to Pro Bowl form. And they believe that adding a young player in Thompson Robinson, who had worked out with Watson at UCLA, will help make that room strong. Now, here are the players the Browns took in free agency who they picked up. They picked up Elijah Moore and Marquise Goodwin from the Jets, and tight end Jordan Atkins, offensive tackle Wes Martin, defensive lineman Delvin Tomlinson, Ogbo Okaran Kawo, Maurice Hurst, Tristan Hill, and Michael Ford, and linebacker Matthew Adams, cornerback Mike Ford, and quarterback Josh Dobbs. I give the Browns a B+ for this draft. They got a lot of high marks in this year's draft, and they picked up some really good players that have lots of potential. And on Wednesday, the Browns added an offensive line to the offensive line, with a familiar face. Colby Goss said a guard has been signed by the team. It's Gossett's second tenure with the Browns. This was last Wednesday they signed him, I meant to say. Second tenure with the organization, although he didn't play in regular season games during his first go round. In 2019, he joined the Cleveland practice squad and opted out of the 2020 season due to COVID before being released after training camp in 2021. Atlanta signed Gossett after the Browns released him and played in 31 games over the previous two seasons. He appeared in all 17 games with 4 starts with the Falcons in last season. And during his rookie season, he appeared in 5 games and made 4 starts with the Arizona Cardinals. The Vikings drafted him in the 6th round. He also played 267 snaps last season, and without giving up a sack, he allowed 9 pressures and committed 3 penalties while recording a PFF grade of 55.3 for the season. According to our calculations, when including the UDFA and acquisitions and the Gossett signing, the Browns roster sits at 91. If correct, this means a cut is coming at some point as they need to be at 90. The 90-man roster includes an active, inactive practice squad, exempt and reserved list players. It also accounts for unsigned draft choices and franchise free agents. It is possible that there have been changes to the roster which the OBR has not been informed about, which would change the requirement. Gossett becomes the 7th guard on the Browns roster. Andrew Berry continues to show his propensity for returning players that are familiar to him. Gossett will compete with Wes Martin, Drew Forbes, Michael Dunn, and Dawson Deaton for a roster spot. So we will see what happens with that. Now we're going to move on to the NBA playoffs. We're going to do them. And the New York Knicks has lost. They have squared up in Game 4, and they lost they lost Game 4 yesterday to the Miami Heat, 109-101, and New York couldn't even double team last night. They just gave Miami so many chances to score. But tonight in Game 5, they that's not what I wanted. But tonight in Game 5, they beat the Miami Heat 103-102. They faced elimination, but they forced Game 6 on Friday back in Miami. So but Jerry Butler had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Ben Adebayo had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Robinson had 17 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. And with the Knicks on it, R.J. Barrett, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Julius Randle, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And boy, Jalen Brunson, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He was the big scorer. Miami led 24-14 after the first quarter, and then the Knicks led 50-47 by 3 at halftime, and then they had an 84 to. It was tied at 84, actually. Excuse me. At the end of the third quarter, and then they just pulled away, and the Knicks got the win, and they forced a Game 5 Friday, and that will, I believe, that will be in Miami. It will be in Miami. That's where Game 6 will be Friday. And right now, the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, who also face elimination tonight, they are on the West Coast playing in Oakland tonight, and the Lakers are down 109-95 with 4:27 to go in the fourth quarter, and we'll see if the Warriors can hold on. And if they can hold on, they will force a game six on Friday. So we shall see. And yesterday, because the Philadelphia 76ers uh, beat the Boston Celtics 115 to 103 yesterday in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals at TD Garden in Boston, Mass. Uh, and Philadelphia leads the series 3-2, and Boston faces elimination tomorrow night. I'll get back to that in a minute. But with this game, uh, I gotta see Joel Embiid. I'll do Joel Embiid first. Uh, Joel Embiid, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. PJ Tucker, he did score a few points tonight. 3 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Uh, Tyrese Maxey, uh, he had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Harden has 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. And those were the big scores in that game. And Philadelphia led by 7 at the end of the first quarter, 33-26, and then they were up 63-49 at the end at halftime, and then they were up 93-92 by 1 at the end of the third quarter. But then they just pulled away, but the Celtics cut the lead, but then the Sixers just pulled away, and the Celtics just could not catch up. So Boston is in a must-win situation to try to force Game 7. That would be on, I think, possibly Monday, Sunday or Monday, either way. So, we shall see what happens with that one. Uh, and the Denver Nuggets beat the Phoenix Suns yesterday, and they are 118 to 102 at at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Uh, uh, Joek had I think it was Nate Joek or Nikola Joek. He led the way for the Nuggets last night with 29 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists. I think Adam Gordon had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Uh, Bruce Brown Jr. Bruce Brown Jr. had 25 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and I think Jalen Murray had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And Porter Jr. I think it was Max Porter Jr. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. Excuse me. He had also had 19 points. 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And that name I was Jamal Murray had 25 points. I'm sorry, not Jalen Murray, Jamal Murray. Excuse me. I said the wrong name. But those are the big scores, and the bright spot for the Suns was I think it's Devin Booker with 28 points, and yeah, Devin Booker with 28 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and Kevin Durant 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. But the Suns do face elimination. They're in a must-win situation, as they will have to win Game 6 tomorrow. And that will be, and so they will have to win it tomorrow evening, and to force Game 7 on Saturday, I believe. That will be Saturday. So we shall see what happens. I'll keep you posted. And we will get to the Guardians in just a second. Right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which former Indian would later become one of only two Indians players to win the World Series with a home run? If you said Joe Carter, you are correct. Carter is best known for hitting a walk-off home run to win the 1993 World Series for the Toronto Blue Jays, their second consecutive championship. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Moving on to the Guardians, and we'll get to them. And I think we're looking at. I think the Boston Philly series could go with the way, but Philly leads 3-2. We could either have Boston, Miami, or Philadelphia, Miami. Either way in the Eastern Conference Final, and I think we're looking at a LA Lakers, Denver Nuggets, Western Conference Final. So we'll see. Now to the Guardians. Yesterday, the Guardians got the win yesterday and evened up the series with Detroit by beating them 2-0 last night at Progressive Field to even up the series at one apiece. And they were in second place in the AL Central. Shane Bieber was on the hill for them yesterday on Tuesday for the good guys. He went 6 innings, giving up and striking out. I think, and he gave up 4 runs. Uh, uh, I think he gave up. Yeah, he gave up. I gotta get it. I'm sorry. He gave up. He went 6.0 innings, gave 7 hits, no earned runs. He struck out 9 batters, had 1 bean at bat. And then the bullpen was summoned, and they did pretty well on Tuesday. They did a pretty good job. And Emmanuel Claus came on in the ninth, and I got the save, which was his 13th save of the season. And the Guardians' only 2 runs came in the bottom of the 8th. Ahmed Rosario triples on a fly ball to center fielder Riley Green. Will Brennan scores, and the Guardians led 2-0. And that's pretty much all the Guardians needed, as they were able to hold off to slam the door shut on the Tigers on Tuesday and get the win by the final score of 2-0. And Bieber got the win. He goes 3-1. Mike Lorenzen falls to 1-2. And as I said, Clase he got his 13th save of the season. And this afternoon, they wrapped up the series with the Tigers. And they got shut out this afternoon. They were not able to take 2 out of 3 as they got shut out 5-0 today at Progressive Field. Peyton Batterfield was on the hill for him today, for the good guys today. He went 7 innings. I mean, in 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 4 batters. Then the bullpen went to work. Uh, Eli De Los Santos came on. He went one and gave up 1 run and struck out 1 batter. Nick Sandlin came on and he struck out 1 batter, and then Eli Morgan, even though it wasn't a safe situation, came on and he was able to go 1, 2, 3, but they were not able to get the win. And the Tribe had opportunities to score. I mean, all they had were 4 hits today, and they had opportunities to score, but they just could not capitalize on the opportunities to score today in today's game against the Tigers. And you got to do that if you want to win games. And Rodriguez got the win. Ed Rodriguez got the win. He falls to 4-2. Batic with 0-4. He's still looking for to get his first win. Uh, so and Detroit led 3-0 at the top of the third. Spencer Torkelson singles on a line drive to left fielder Stephen Kwan, and Javier Baez scored, and then it was 5-0 in the fifth. And maybe a doubles on a ground. Ball to right fielder Gabriel Arias. Spencer Charleston scores, and Andy Abanez scores. And about it to third. Throwing error by right fielder Gabriel Arias. And it was 5-0. And uh, and I mean the Guardians had and they went one to all three of them struck out. Juan Rosario and Ramirez all struck out, and then in the bottom of the second, struck out of the David Fry. He lined out to right field, and then there were 2 outs. And Taylor Freeman, he's sitting on a ground ball to center fielder Riley Green, and it was deflected. But then Zerino struck out swinging, and that was in the bottom of the second. The bottom of the third, Miguel Cabrera grounds out to pitcher Peyton Betterfield and Jeff Miller with 3 outs, actually, no, that was top of the bottom of the third. Gabriel Arias grounds out to second baseman Zach Mankinstry. To first baseman Spencer Torkelson. There was 1 out. Miles Straw strikes out swinging. There were 2. Stephen Kwan grounds out to second baseman Zach Mankinstry. To first baseman Spencer Torkelson. There were 3 outs. Those bats just went sad. They just could not bats today. Starting in the bottom of the fourth, they got first baseman, first baseman Spencer was 1 out. I was going to pass out. Second baseman Zach Mankinstry. There were 2 outs. Josh Bell walks. David Fry walks to Josh Bell to second, and Tyler Freeman singles on a ground out to second baseman Zach McKinstry. Josh Bell to third, and David Fry to second. But then Mike Zunino called out on strikes. They had an opportunity to score there, but couldn't do it in the bottom of the eighth. And then basically the bats went silent, and then they went 1-2-3 in the fifth. Straw and Juan and Rosario, they all just grounded out, and this is just not a good day for the Guardians today. And then Ramirez flies out to Matt rifled to Matt Vierling. It was 1 out, and Josh Bell grounded it out to shortstop Javier Baez. First baseman Spencer Torkelson. There were 2 outs. David Fry singles on a fly ball to right fielder Matt Vierling, and then Tyler Freeman grounded out to second baseman Zach McKinstry. To first baseman Spencer Torkelson. The bottom of the sixth. They just could not get on the board today. And then the bottom of the seventh, all 3 of them got Zerino and Arias got called out on strikes. And Straw flies out to second baseman Zach Short, and there were 3 outs. And then Rosario, he got called out on strikes. And then Kwan, he lined out to center fielder Riley Green. There was 1 out. And then Ramirez grounds out softly to second baseman Zach Short, to first baseman Spencer Torkelson. There were 3 outs again, and then in the bottom of the ninth, they just Josh Bell walked, but then Broad popped out to first baseman Spencer Torkelson in foul territory. Tyler Freeman called down a strike, so it's 2 strikes, and then Will Brennan in the bottom of the ninth, he flies out to shortstop Javier Baez, and basically it just was not a good day for the Guardians, so they will have to regroup. They are off tomorrow, but they will be back in action tomorrow. Tomorrow they will, as they begin a 3-game series with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at Progressive Field. And I think I'm trying to find who the pitching matchup is for this series. Just hold on a minute. And it will be, I think it's, I'm trying to, Logan Allen will get the start. Will be on the hill for the good guys with a record of 1-1 and try to get a second one of the season. And it's going to be Tyler Anderson on the hill for the Angels of Anaheim with a record of 1-0, try to get his second one. And first pitch is at 7:10 on Major League Baseball TV. That's what it is. Not Bally Sports, Major League Baseball TV. So you'll see it there. And that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast, hopefully this weekend or sometime next week. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.